So that was really stupid, by the way. Of course, I watched an NBC Universal clip and they kill the stream while I'm watching it. So I'm guessing that's what happened. But anyway, we'll take two on this one. Man, that's yeah, okay. Awesome. Thanks, NBC. Cool. I've reacted to stuff too live before, no problem. And of course, if I would have taken if they would have, copyrights, strike me on that one. If I did that as a reaction. So whatever. Screw them. Anyway, we're back. Okay, let's forget about what we just watched and let's just get into the news stuff. First one we're gonna do, let's talk about the Obi-Wan stuff first because that's the first thing that came out. So let's go with that. Um, there is a couple of things. So first, let's go to the article from Collider that came out first. First, let's acknowledge something. Now, Geeks and Gamers reported this first, and everybody called it bullshit. And they said it was fake news, all this stuff. And then turn around and Collider reports this because everybody thinks it was all because of a fake account on Twitter that reported this as a fake news story. But Grace Randolph was reporting it as well. But like I said, also was Geeks and Gamers. So give them credit. Those guys nailed it on that one. And that's how I got this story because I follow Geeks and Gamers and Ryan Kennel and a lot of the other guys with Geeks and Gamers. And they reported it. So good on them. I mean, they did it and it was right. So, and then Collider came out with this. So everybody's like, oh, that kind of validates stuff, right? Yeah, a little bit. And then, of course, we'll get into what Ewan McGregor came out and said, but let's talk about this first. So last week, some troubling rumors began swirling about the upcoming Disney Plus series revolving around the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor is poised to reprise his role from the Star Wars prequels, and his story set 8 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. They go on to screenwriter director were tapped to spearhead the series, and production was on pace to begin this year. These rumors hinted at potential trouble behind the scenes, and while we're hearing the show isn't canceled, we were hearing that it has been delayed. Now, they says they have two independent sources with knowledge of the situation. They tell Collider that the Obi-Wan series has been put on hold as the crew that had been assembled at Pinewood Studios in London was sent home. A time frame was not given, but the crew was told that the show would be down indefinitely. And also, Grace Randolph reported that a lot of the crew work are already looking for other jobs. Like this is not happening anytime soon if it's happening, which God knows. And this is the line that was troubling. We're hearing that Lucasfilm president Obi-Wan producer Kathleen Kennedy was not happy with the scripts. Now, I watched a live stream with Jeremy and Ryan from Geeks and Gamers, and they said the exact same thing that I thought when I read this part here. That means that the scripts were probably fantastic. If she hated them, that means that they were good, and they were probably really ingrained in what Star Wars really is, and she wanted to inject everything that she likes to inject in these films, her identity politics and everything that she's done with it. And I hope that being reworked means that they're not going to take, I don't know. In all honesty, in my opinion, I don't know if this is going to happen. There are also rumors that are going to cut it down to a shorter season, like from 6 or 8 episodes to 4. And I know that Ewan McGregor confirmed back in October that this was originally going to be a movie, and they cut it up into a show because they want people to subscribe to Disney Plus. That's why they're pushing this stuff on Disney Plus. The thing is, they came out on the launch date with Disney Plus with Mandalorian. They have nothing coming for Star Wars until February, which is Clone Wars, which the entire group of people who are watching The Mandalorian will not be watching the Clone Wars. I know lots of people who are not big Star Wars people who watch The Mandalorian because of the hype around it and Baby Yoda. And now with Clone Wars, they're not going to get that audience draw. I mean, if you would have had an Obi-Wan series or any other thing to launch with Disney Plus, besides The Mandalorian, you're going to get more people. I mean, I wonder how many people dropped their accounts after The Mandalorian was over. I mean, they're really going to struggle now because there are other streaming services with a lot of new original series that are coming out weekly, not just every year or every 2 years, however long this is going to take. I mean, we know they're doing the Cassian Andor series as well with K2SO and Cassian Andor, and I don't even know when that's supposed to start shooting or if it's still confirmed. I mean, I know they talked about it. It's still Celebration, but we still haven't got any confirmation when it's going to shoot that I'm aware of. I might be wrong, but this is just, in my opinion, showing you what is wrong with Star Wars over and over again. It's just glaringly in our face that Kathleen Kennedy should probably be gone. She probably shouldn't be in charge, but I don't agree with people going on Twitter with the hashtags of fire Kathleen Kennedy. I just don't think that's right. I mean, calling for somebody's job publicly, I think it should be done behind the scenes. If people raise enough shit about it or think about it, I think it will I bet you Iger probably isn't happy. I mean, look at the numbers for Rise of Skywalker. It's tanked the box office every weekend. It's been dropping. And yeah, it's made over $1 billion, but it's not hitting Last Jedi numbers. I don't know if it's barely hitting Rogue One numbers. It's definitely not even touching the Force Awakens numbers. I mean, it's not going to hit the numbers that they want. It's going to be a continuing downfall. I mean, Solo lost money. I mean, we all know that. I mean, it was almost 3/4 of the way done, and she fired Lord and Miller and replaced with Ron Howard to reshoot almost all whole movie. And that's a lot of money. And then Solo did not make enough to get that back. It's crazy how much has been wrong with Star Wars. We had the first celebration when they talked about Rogue One with Gareth Edwards. They were going to bring out Josh Trank, and to talk about a Boba Fett movie, but that didn't happen. And I think that's what turned into The Mandalorian eventually. But I mean, there's been so many problems with Star Wars, and then we got D&D, Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones. They left. I mean, they like people say it wasn't just one movie. It was a trilogy. They left a fucking Star Wars trilogy. They had a trilogy they could have done, a Star Wars trilogy. I mean, imagine 10 years ago thinking, you think somebody would leave a Star Wars trilogy? Like, no, but it happened. And I don't know a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes of that, but I think they probably just thought maybe after what they did with Game of Thrones that they didn't want to be involved with this kind of fandom anymore, or they just decided we don't want to deal with this anymore because maybe they were having, behind the scenes problems with Kathleen Kennedy and other producers, and then Bob Iger maybe got involved. But it's just, there is so much wrong with Star Wars right now that they need to do something. I mean, The Mandalorian was good. It was on the verge of greatness. I don't think it was amazing, but I thought it was in the right direction to go with Star Wars. And in all honesty, I was talking with a friend, and I'm like, they introduced Baby Yoda, or the child, it's Yoda species. And why not start with that show? Start your entry into the Star Wars universe with that, and build that character and build things up from that. Because think about what we could have got from that. Could have built up, that Luke could have taken control of the child and built that up with his new Jedi. But we don't get that stuff. We get what we got with The Force Awakens, which everybody wanted to love, including myself. I mean, it was nostalgia. That's all they wanted to shove in your face. I mean, the first teaser trailer, like the big teaser trailer that came out at Celebration, when Han Solo and Chewie came on the ship and said, Chewie, we're home. I mean, that's like nostalgia right there. And everything they did, like in the trailers with the music, everything from the original trilogy, it was all to get you in the theater. And of course, I bit on that. And I still enjoy Force Awakens to this day. I never liked that Rey beat Kylo Ren at the end, but I got past that because I was like, okay, there's a lot they can explore with this. And then we got The Last Jedi, and it's like, oh my God, what the hell did they do? They obviously had no plan what they were doing, and everything they're doing behind the scenes, and all these rumors that are coming out, all these reports that are coming out are showing that that's true, that they have no idea what they're doing, and they don't know what to do next. Like they're scrambling. And they announced this at the D23 Expo back in, I think, August, and everybody was on board with this because everybody wanted this. And then they're like, no, we're not going to do it, or we're going to postpone it. I mean, you should have rushed it into production, or not rushed it, but I mean, got it going a little bit quicker than you did, because it took a long time to get this going. And I think it's because I think it started as a movie and it just kind of broke down. And when they really worked on Disney Plus, they're like, we really need some stuff for Disney Plus. But apparently they didn't want to get things ready for Disney Plus because, I mean, we had one show, The Mandalorian. We don't have, they're fast tracking all their Marvel shows now because they need to get stuff out, because we don't have anything besides all the Disney movies and the Star Wars movies that we've, they wanted to release this with original content, and we got one thing. So there's a lot of things they need to be doing differently, and hopefully it will change. I hope it will. And whether Kathleen Kennedy goes or she stays on and things just, maybe they bring in Favreau or Kevin Feige or Dave Filoni to kind of steer in the right direction on what they're doing with Mandalorian. Hey, let's take that into everything else. And then there's rumors of an Old Republic series in the works. I don't even know if I want them to touch that, because I'm afraid they're going to screw it up. I love those characters. I loved both Knights of the Old Republic games. I never played the Old Republic RPG. I read the Revan novel and some of the comics, but I don't know if I want them to do anything with this. I really don't. It's just, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from now on. But yeah, let's go on this article. I literally took one sentence and went on a tangent, and then I'm coming back to the article. So here we go. So sources tell us that will most likely happen next is the scripts will be reworked with the hopeful goal of reassembling this summer, but there's always the possibility that time frame could shift. It sounds like Kennedy would rather ensure that the story being told with this Disney Plus series is as good as it can be on the page before they roll cameras. And rather than move forward with hesitation, she's asked that they go back and rework what's on the page. This makes a lot of sense, as Lucasfilm has a history with troubled productions recently. Rogue One, written and reworked during filming. Tony Gilroy, spearheading reshoots. Solo, talked about that. Fire and Lord Miller. Get Ron Howard to take over and do the, middle of production with that. This Obi-Wan delay also comes on the heels of a chilly reception for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. That is putting it mildly. The third and final film in Lucasfilm's new sequel trilogy. Not only has the concluding chapter in the Star Wars trilogy earned the worst critical reception of any Star Wars film thus far, it's on pace to be the lowest grossing film in this new trilogy, although to be fair, it's still crossing $1 billion at the box office, which nowadays is not as big as a feat as it used to be. So, if the scripts weren't that good, why would you tell us? I mean, I didn't pull it up, but there's a clip going around Twitter from the D23 that she said the scripts were done. They're done. It's out there. It's in the video of her bringing Ewan on stage, announcing the series at D23. She says the scripts are done. Like, it literally says it on camera. And now they're saying, we got to rework the scripts. You mean the ones that you said were done back in August? I mean, that's a little bit. You're waiting a little bit too long to start that. I mean, this could be a report that somebody. This could be coming from a source that heard this like 2 months ago, and they've already started to be working on these reworks. We don't know, but it's just not at the right time. Like they said, with the heels of a chilly reception of Rise of Skywalker, and that movie was. I mean, go back and watch me and Nate talk about that was it Sunday before last? We did a live stream. It was over 4 hours long because we had so much to talk about. We were going through the plot, and it was a mess of a film. You could tell there was so much cut out because the leaks pointed to a lot bigger story and a lot more in it. Still not good. It was all crap, but they cut a lot of it out, and it didn't make as much sense, and it just felt bloated and rushed and just crammed. Like I told Nate, it felt like going into a theme park to get on a roller coaster. Instead of the roller coaster coming to a stop, that throw you on while it's going full speed and throw you off while it's going full speed. That's what it felt like. You never have time to catch your breath. But I'm going off on another tangent or another. Yeah, I literally will take a comment and go that way. I'm coming back. I'm bringing it back so we can get back to this article. The Obi-Wan series actually began its life as a feature film, which Stephen Daldry, the reader, was on tap to direct. After some development, Lucasfilm decided instead to expand and adapt that planned story into a TV series for the Disney Plus streaming service because they wanted more people to buy and pay for Disney Plus. That's exactly what this is. They wanted more people, more memberships, more subscriptions to Disney Plus. We all know that. That's what they did because they really put a lot of effort into this. And like I said earlier, with them coming out with one show on Disney Plus, The Mandalorian, and it's a hit. Then you go into Clone Wars in February, which is a hit with a lot of Star Wars fans, but not the general public. They're not going to go for this because they would have to go back and watch 5.5 seasons. I mean, that's a lot to watch. That's a lot to consume. And yes, if you have Disney Plus, you can do it, but it's just a lot to ask of the general public who are not invested in Star Wars as much. So, okay. Let's go. Lucasfilm is being tight-lipped with regards to its future film plans beyond a Kevin Feige produced feature, a new trilogy from Rian Johnson that's still in development and will not ever happen, and maybe a Taika Waititi Star Wars movie that is also rumored. But production is already underway on season 2 of the hit Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. In fact, I watched red carpet for I think it was the first episode of The Mandalorian, and Jon Favreau said they came off of set for season 2. They were already filming season 2. They already knew what they had on their hands with this. The second season of the well-received live-action show is due to be released early this year, once again under the tutelage of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. And indeed, Obi-Wan director Deborah Chow, not doubt, landed that plum gig after no doubt, I'm guessing what they meant to say, after showcasing her talents, helping to stand out third and 7 episodes of The Mandalorian season 1. I will agree that those episodes were probably the best. some of the best because her direction was just fantastic. It was great. There's a lot of potential in this Obi-Wan series, and while it's not great news, there's been a delay. It likely comes as a relief that Kennedy and Co. are taking their time to get this particular series right, or that they're going to be screwing it up. Really quickly, the Hollywood Reporter confirmed the report. Also notes that Lucasfilm was looking for a new writer to replace Amini and planning to scale the series back from 6 to 4. According to one source, the Kenobi story treaded similar ground as The Mandalorian, seeing the Jedi Master lending a protective hand to a young Luke and perhaps even a young Leia. Okay. Let's talk about that for just a second. Okay, I got Lieutenant Crunch. How you doing, man? Hey. I am doing good. I had a really long weekend. It was really busy and out of town, and then we get back home and had stuff to do. That's why I'm on so late. But I'm doing well. Hope you had a great weekend, man. Hope you did. So let's go back to that last line real quick. Okay. The Jedi Master lending a protective hand to a young Luke and perhaps even a young Leia. We don't need to do that with Leia because she's on Alderaan. Obi-Wan never left Tatooine. Because if you have Obi-Wan leave Tatooine, then you have a bigger possibility of Vader finding him. And they didn't see each other again until the beginning or the end of A New Hope when they fought. So we can't have him leaving Tatooine because that gives more of a, well, hey, maybe people spotted him out. Maybe so-and-so, or maybe he got closer to where Vader was and Vader sensed him. I mean, so you can't do that. You can't. Unless they bring Leia to Tatooine, which I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work. Because, I mean, even in New Hope, she says in the message, like, years ago, you served my father in Clone Wars. He's asking you serve him once again. She didn't say anything like, hey, remember me when you trained me as a kid? Remember when you helped me out as a kid? Yeah. So, yeah, it wouldn't work. So, I just hope it continues and I hope it's underway. I hope it's true that the scripts are being reworked to be better. I don't have that kind of a faith in Kathleen Kennedy and company right now to do that. Unfortunately, it sucks to say this kind of stuff about Star Wars. It really does. But I mean, that's just how it is. But yeah, so just so much Star Wars stuff came out. The Obi-Wan stuff came out, and then Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor himself came out and said some stuff too. Let's get into that real quick. So he came out, and I'm sure they were like, hey, while you're talking about Birds of Prey, could you do us a favor and tell people that the Obi-Wan stuff is great and it's fantastic, that everything is fine. I'm sure it's what they were like, hey, the publicist is like, hey, they called, we need to do this, we need to spin this. So this is last Thursday. At a press event Thursday night, Ewan McGregor addressed the drama surrounding the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series Obi-Wan, telling reporters that despite the news, the production has been delayed. The show is happening as scheduled, and most of what has been reported is bullshit. He says, we just pushed a shoot to the beginning of next year. The scripts are really good. I saw 90% of the writing, and I really liked it. All this bullshit about creative differences and all that stuff is none of it true. By the way, the creative differences thing came out of the fake news tweet from a parody account on Twitter. That's not what people were saying that were really reporting it. They're reporting what was really happening with the show being suspended. Grace Randolph, Geeks and Gamers, reporting it correctly while everyone else was calling them out or calling them names for reporting a fake news story when they were reporting what they really heard and what was really happening. So remember that when Geeks and Gamers and people like that are reporting this stuff, they are credible. They're credible. Okay, so he continues suggesting the delay is somewhat related to the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, which is bullshit, by the way. We just pushed the dates. They want, and he pauses, last episode 9 came out. Everyone had more time to read the stuff that had been written, and they felt they wanted to do more work on it. So they slid the shoot. It's not nearly as dramatic as it sounds online. But rewind. Everyone had more time to read the stuff that had been written, and they felt that they wanted to do more work on it. So he literally just confirmed Collider's report in one sentence. Think about that. Now, what he said there makes you wonder. Is The Rise of Skywalker reviews and ice cold reception for that film? Is it what maybe Bob Iger's like, hey, go back, rewrite it. It has to be perfect. Has to be the most perfect thing ever. And maybe got over Kathleen Kennedy and all that her crew was like, this has to be perfect. If this isn't perfect, we're going to have some problems. That's a possibility. There's a lot of things that could have happened here. So maybe it's the fact that they, after the Rise of Skywalker reception, they're like, we need to make sure this is good, because if it's not, we're all screwed. Because there's another story coming up that also might be something else. So we'll see. But so McGregor said that the series will start shooting in January. I think they want to keep the same release date, so it's definitely not going to affect the viewer in any way. It just simply gives them more time to write, make the scripts even better, which he's confirming again, Collider's report, saying that they're rewriting the scripts, reworking them, making them better, is what he says, his quote. They go on to say that the actor's comments come out hours after widespread reports that the production of Obi-Wan had been put on indefinite hold, and the London-based crew sent home while Disney and Lucasfilm retooled the show and hire a new writer. Disney and Lucasfilm did not immediately respond to a request for comment from the Wrap. Also, Grace Randolph said a lot of the crew that were told to leave the production were looking for new work. So they're not going back anytime soon, at least enough for them to go work somewhere else and come back later. And it would be a long time from now, because if they're like, just go on and do your thing, we really don't know. That is not a, hey, this is coming soon. It's more of an indefinite hold, and we'll get back to you down the road. So, like it says here, it was announced last summer during D23. Obi-Wan series will take place some point during the 19-year gap between Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars: A New Hope. McGregor will once again play the Jedi Master, originally portrayed by Alec Guinness, and executive produce the series alongside series director, I'll get that right, Deborah Chow, and writer Hossein Amini, Jason McGatlin. Lucasfilm's executive vice president of production will serve as co-producer. The project will be the third live-action Star Wars series for Disney Plus, following The Mandalorian and the Rogue One prequel series centered on Diego Luna's character Cassian Andor. Now, this is just it's just kind of a mess. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna stop sharing that thing's doing something wacky down there. That's the ad blocker, I'm sure. But yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on. So we never know what's going on, really. But everybody's reporting the same thing. The scripts are being reworked. Things are put on hold, indefinite hold. Nobody said creative differences. That all came from that false, or that, it was not a false Twitter account. It's basically a, parody account of discussing film. But that's where that came from. Even Grace Randolph, Geeks and Gamers were saying it's indefinite hold, that they're putting it on hold, that it might be canceled. Nobody ever said creative differences. So nobody said that. Why he said that, I think it's from the spin from Lucasfilm saying, hey, just say that because that'll, get that off that fake article or whatever. But we'll see. Hopefully the show continues. The scripts are phenomenal, and the show turns out to be incredible and doesn't do anything to the Star Wars mythos and lore we already know of Obi-Wan. Let's continue to do what we already know and don't do something that's going to really screw up anything that's already happened in the OT. So let's continue to focus on that. I hope Qui-Gon is in it. I think he should be in it, or at least his voice talking to Obi-Wan, maybe training him to be a Force ghost. And maybe it should just be about, there's a lot of stuff you can make it about. I mean, it could be kind of like when Jesus was in the desert kind of thing. It's a lot of stuff you could do. A lot of stuff. So hopefully they'll get it right and they'll get it on track. So it is 12:48 a.m. on Monday morning, January something. January 27th, man. Wow. Dates are just kind of going together right now. Hope everybody has had a good weekend. Hope everybody was safe and had a good time. And tomorrow, it's Monday. Everything's going back to the work week. But hope you all have a great week. And we're going to get into the next article here in a minute. I wanted to say something real quick. So we have had an influx of subscribers over the last, I'd say, probably 10 to 15 days. It's probably about 12 plus subscribers. And that's the biggest jump we've ever had on this channel. And I wanted to thank everybody out there who's subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing everything. And you guys have been fantastic. I want to remind you guys that we do have when we hit 200 subscribers, we will be doing a giveaway. I talked about this in another video, a couple other videos, but we'll be giving away this Darth Vader Target exclusive Funko Pop. That's one of the things we'll be doing. Limited edition, hard case, Target only. It's sold out everywhere at Target. And there'll be a couple other things with it as well. So if you guys could share this video or share our channel around on your social media, bug your friends and family to make them subscribe, that'd be fantastic. We'd really, really appreciate your support on the channel moving forward. So let me get into the next thing I wanted to talk about. This one, I don't know what I think about this one. It's kind of, nobody's really happy about it. Let's put it that. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake rumored to be in development at EA. So there was a channel I followed for a while on YouTube, and this guy was sharing footage. Somebody was redoing the original Knights of the Old Republic in the newest Unreal Engine. Like they were redoing the character maps, the models, everything. And they had done, I think, 2 planets so far. All right. And then they got a cease and desist order from Disney. I'm sure I just said that completely wrong altogether. My mouth is a little parched, so let me get a little bit of a drink here. It's good beer. Central State Brewing, Indiana. Good stuff. So that person had to stop. They were not doing anything to make profit from redoing the game. They just wanted to update the graphics and character models and use the new Unreal Engine. Disney told them, you need to stop this now and completely you have to can the project. A lot of people took that as a sign that they were either going to remaster it or do something with this series. And I was talking to a friend of mine today who we went to meet out of town, some friends, and for the weekend. We were talking about EA and their license for Star Wars and what they've done. So they've had since, I think, 2014, 2015. They put out Battlefront 1, Battlefront 2. We have Jedi Fallen Order. And I believe we have 2 mobile games. We had, what was this? Galaxy of Heroes, which is a huge pay-to-play game. Massive. I mean, the only way to really get ahead of that game really is whale out on characters when they are released. But, and there was another mobile game, I believe, that didn't do really well. I don't even remember what it was called. I'm actually looking it up right now because I played it for just a minute. It was like an RPG. It was set like before. It was like, I don't even know what was going on with it. And I know they've done some Lego stuff, of course. They did the Star Wars Jedi Challenges, the AR game from Lenovo. They did that. But there was another game. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like this little RPG game. And I literally don't even see it. Well, I know there was like 1 or 2 others that they did, but they were mobile games. I mean, we had two big things. Battlefront, which was, I include Battlefront 1 and 2, and then Jedi Fallen Order just came out. Excuse me. Wow, excuse me. I'm sorry. Why would you give this license to EA? Why would you not let everyone make Star Wars games? Why would you not just flood the market with good Star Wars games? Like have everybody bring and pitch ideas, all these different companies, be like, greenlight the ones that sound good. Maybe even pull up 1313, the one you all canceled when you closed LucasArts after you bought Lucasfilm. Maybe bring that back. Maybe finish that. Maybe the open world game that we kept seeing like little clips of, just little snippets of that they canceled too. Why don't maybe do that? I mean, what we got with, I haven't played Fallen Order yet, but I've been told it's really good. And I played Battlefront 1 for a little bit. And that game was an incomplete mess when it came out. There was barely anything to do. There was no single player, hardly anything. Hardly any characters. You got to pay a lot to do level up on that game. I haven't played Battlefront 2 yet. I did just get it over the weekend. I got it for really, really cheap at Meijer. Like it wasn't even like used or anything. It was just discounted down. It was the deluxe edition, and it was under $10 at Meijer. Under $10. So I bought that because of how cheap it was. So I'm going to get into that, probably play some of that online, do the story mode on that. But the fact that they've only had these two titles, like these two, um, with Battlefront series and then with Fallen Order, I just don't understand what they're doing. Why not have multiple other companies under EA, like Respawn, doing stuff like that? Why not just it's just boggles my mind that they really aren't doing shit with this license. And everyone would be wanting to touch this license. Every game company out there, every game studio wants this license. Everyone. Because you could do something great with it. I mean, there's so many things you could do in the Star Wars universe. So many things. So let's get into this article real quick and talk about it. First of all, Knights of the Old Republic is one of my favorite games of all time. I still have the original Xbox game, the original guide I bought for it when I bought the game originally. I still have that. I don't have an Xbox to play it on. I do have it on my Steam. I have a lot of Star Wars games on my Steam, and that's one of them. But yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time. So this is from IGN. Not really sure how good they are with the rumors, if they're good or not. If it's true half the time or not. Latest rumor indicates that Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic project is underway at EA and looks to integrate elements from the first two games in order to bring certain things into the current Star Wars canon. As reported by Cinelinx, two sources claim to have knowledge on the rumored return of this beloved franchise. The first source says a remake of the 2003 classic is in development, while the second expands and says it wasn't so much a remake, but a sequel of sorts, like KOTOR 3, like we've all been screaming from the rooftops since KOTOR 2. I like how they have History of Awesome Knights of the Republic, because that game is just amazing. This new project, as previously mentioned, would take elements from the first KOTOR and the Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, and retool the two stories to make them fit in current canon. I'm reading this for the first time and reacting to this story for the first time. I've heard about it, I didn't look into it. So, I don't know if I like that. Wow. Retooling the two stories and make them fit into current canon. Okay. They go on to say these rumors do fall in line with Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy's previous comments confirming that Lucasfilm is developing something Knights of the Old Republic related. There have also been rumors of a Knights of the Old Republic film, with some sources linking Game of Thrones' D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, who are no longer creating a Star Wars trilogy. It was reported last year after the cancellation of KOTOR 3 that Obsidian always envisioned the game to be a trilogy. Lead writer Chris Avallone from Reboot Develop also said KOTOR 3 would have been about uncovering the origin of the Sith Lords and that they foreshadow what Darth Revan was doing in the second game. As for the current canon, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker did make Darth Revan canon, as one of the Emperor Palpatine's Sith Trooper Legion's name was the 3rd Revan Legion, which is true. His name is officially canon. That's all, but that's a start. Which, of course, when I saw that at first, I was excited, but at the end, again, I was like, I don't know how I feel about them taking these beloved characters that we know and love and bringing them over to what they're doing in Disney and Lucasfilm. In fact, I saw some people talking online. I believe it was Ryan Kendall on RK Outpost that why not leave these characters alone and start building up your own characters? Because people hold these games and the Old Republic in such high regard that taking this and making it something else or really screwing with it to the point of watering it down from what it was would really piss a lot of people off to the point where you would not sell this game. It would not sell well. To some people would sell with a Star Wars title, but gamer community knows these games, and that would be a huge problem. They want to say, hopefully this project was real. It will live to the legacy created by the KOTOR series and continue the upward swing for EA Star Wars titles, including Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. In our review, we said it makes up for a lot of lost time with a fantastic single-player action adventure that marks the return of the playable Jedi. And I have not played Fallen Order. It's literally sitting over on my shelf. I can see it. I will be starting it either tomorrow or Tuesday. I will be starting it. I had a friend come up to me, actually sent me a message the other day. He goes, "What are you doing playing South Park, The Stick of Truth on your channel? That game's been out for way too long. You have Jedi Fallen Order. Get your ass on that game now. And I was like, all right. Lieutenant Crunch, I wanted to say, he said this rumor has been popping up repeatedly since BioWare finished up Mass Effect, has been shot down every time. Time will tell if this is the same or not. Absolutely agree. You're right. Ever since Mass Effect was done, it was always like, oh, they're doing KOTOR 3. They're doing it again. But then they revealed they did the Old Republic MMO. People were like, wait a minute, we wanted KOTOR 3, but a lot of people like the MMO. I've never played MMOs myself, but I've thought about getting into it down the road after doing Jedi Fallen Order and probably doing some Battlefront too. I'm going to play the single player of that too, and maybe even get in some online stuff. I'm really not good at online first-person shooter stuff, but Nate, who is on the Rise of Skywalker review, plays it as well. So I think we might be doing that sometime down the road. That might be fun. Play with some other people too. So, but yeah, I don't know. It just I would believe it more if they're just remastering the game. But if they remaster the game and put it out under their title, like Disney and Lucasfilm, we all would assume that it's canon. Everyone would assume if they remake this game and put it out that it's canon. So it being more of a retool or rework or a sequel, I can buy that over them just doing like a straight up remaster. Which I'm gonna get these two guys off the screen. I don't want to see them. Sorry, nothing against those guys, but just don't want to see them on the screen. So yeah, like I said, KOTOR 1, one of my favorite games of all time, and I was playing the KOTOR 2 restored content mod, but some of the add-ons from Steam have really clashed with it, and I cannot get off of, I think it's Terrace. Is it Terrace? No, not Terrace, no. The planet I was on, after I met with Atris and her, like, the women she's training, I can't get off that planet. Like, it starts the cutscene for that, and then it cuts back to that planet, and I can't get off. So I'm trying to get that worked out so I can finish that too, because I really, really wanted to finish that game. I had not played the restored content mods. Hopefully I can do that soon. Thank you all for bearing with me tonight. By the way, I'm so sorry about that stupid mistake I made when I first started streaming earlier. When I watched the Undercover Boss from SNL, the Where Are They Now, the Kylo Ren that was on last night. And while I looked down at my stream, gone. It wasn't playing anymore. Yeah, I'm sure NBC Universal's like, nope, take that down. But it violated their some of the stuff, which I apologize. So I will take that part down. So we've talked about the Obi-Wan stuff. Now there's something else coming out today. I think Geeks and Gamers put up a video on this about 2 hours ago. I watched it and I'm like, I might talk about that one because that'd be interesting. This is one, it's coming from a website that is really 50-50. There's a meme I share. I'll see if I can pull it up here. Maybe get my favorites and I'll just pull it up here and see. I share it all the time because I have so many Facebook groups to share like articles from this. Not just that, but they'll show they'll literally have articles like saying that this or that is confirmed. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. But yes, they do get some stuff. So the website is called We Got This Covered. Yep, I'm sure everybody knows what that is. But I want to see if I can share this application window for you guys real quick. Okay. This is the meme I share. You shared a link from this. We Got This Covered. Yeah, I do that on every Facebook group that shares an article from them because 90% of the time, well, probably less than that, they are usually wrong, or it's something they say is confirmed in the headline and it's not confirmed. But yeah, I share that all the time. It's hilarious. But so let me go ahead and share this one too, and we'll talk about this article. This one is very, very interesting. Now, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because it was rumored, I believe there was rumblings of it a couple months ago. I looked for the article that I saw a while back and I couldn't find it. I don't remember if I worded the Google search incorrectly or what. But George Lucas reportedly down to return to Star Wars, but wants full control. So like I said, This is from We Got This Covered. They report a lot of stuff that they say is confirmed or this or that. And it's usually not. But they do cite in here that that they're getting it from the same source who confirmed two things in The Rise of Skywalker. So let's get into that. We got this cover.com reporting this. So, like I said, take this with a massive grain of salt. I would probably trust the editor story. Well, the Collider stuff with the Obi-Wan stuff, we know that's true, that they're reworking the scripts and they put it in definitely hold. It's not that's not a rumor, that's happening. The Not Till Republic game, probably something like that's happening, or they're remastering it or something like that. Possibly. This one is the out in the left field kind of thing. That's a possibility, but we don't know. They say it's no secret that George Lucas hasn't always been the biggest fan of what Disney's done with Star Wars sequel trilogy. That's an understatement of the century. In fact, the studio has even been pretty open about the fact that the filmmaker was vocally opposed to their approach to the beloved sci-fi franchise. In his book, The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company, for instance, Bob Iger explained that Lucas felt there, quote, weren't enough visual or technical leaps forward, unquote, in J.J. Abrams' The Force Awakens. Not only that, but Lucas was also notably absent from the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker. And while you can certainly understand why he's taken issue with some of the recent movies, it seems both parties are hoping to soon get back into bed together. If you guys haven't read any excerpts from the Bob Iger thing about what he said about Lucas, I highly recommend you go back right now and like search that, because people were posting excerpts of that all over the internet, like the full thing he was talking about with George, what they did to him. And in all honesty, I don't know why Iger put a lot of that stuff in his book after reading it. And I found a copy of the book online. I read that chapter and I'm like, why would you put this in your book? It doesn't make you look good, but it might be one of those things that down the road, if something happens with him and Kathleen Kennedy, you can be like, well, that was her fault. All that stuff I said in that book was her idea. He could end up throwing her under the bus over it. And you never know. But it's just something I don't know if I would have gone out and said that kind of stuff, like that we didn't use his scripts that he had written. We told me we would, but we didn't, the kind of thing. Or we just didn't even talk to him after a certain point. And we went our own way. We did our own thing because even though we told him we would do this, I mean, they say in the book that he gave him like complete story treatments for 7, 8, 9. And they just basically threw him away. Nope, not doing it. We're going to do our own thing. Even though he appointed Kathleen Kennedy, somebody he's worked with for years and years and years, hoping that she was going to be an ally for him, and she went against him and went with Iger. So Iger signing her checks, though. So, of course, she went with Iger. Anyway, so they go on to say, a few weeks ago, we told you that Lucasfilm wants George to return and help out with the franchise in more of an official capacity. Following his assistance with the aforementioned Rise, which was done more as a favor to JJ than anything else, I don't believe that George had anything to do with what we saw in the theater. I think there was another script that he worked on that we did not see anything from. And while it's still unclear if it'll happen, we've now received another update on the situation, which points to Lucas being down to return, but on one condition. According to sources close to We Got This Covered, the same ones who informed us that blank would die in The Rise of Skywalker and spoilers would be revealed as a traitor in the film months before the movie hit theaters, Lucas has said he'll return, but only if he has full creative control over the franchise. From what we're told, he thinks the studio has made a mess of it and feels he needs a great amount of control to get it back on track. Now, really quickly, this line that they say, according to sources, are, same ones who informed us that Kylo Ren would die in The Rise of Skywalker and Hux would be revealed as a traitor months before the movie hit theaters. By the way, months before the movie hit theaters, we had the Jedi Paxis leaks on Reddit. So we all knew about that when you're saying that you did this. So that's another reason I'm not really sure about this article, but people are talking about it and citing the fact that they did get that stuff apparently before the leaks came out, maybe, but we'll see. Like I said, this is just an out there article I decided to pull up because I thought it was interesting. I really don't read stuff from this website at all. In fact, they continue saying not only that, but he wants to bring Dave Filoni who's responsible for the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, with him to help turn things around, with the idea being to have the fan favorite act as George's right-hand man, just like he did on the Clone Wars. That all being said, our sources, who also revealed the big Palpatine twist in Rise way back in September, which, by the way, I believe that the Jedi Pax's leaks were before that, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, they say that there's some resistance from Disney in regards to George's proposal, and understandably so. Absolutely. After all, Kathleen Kennedy is still the boss over Lucasfilm, for now at least, and they have a link to, I'm guessing what they're saying, she's going to be fired by every other website in the world. And while they would love to have Lucas involved again, they want him more as an advisor, consultant, but it'd still be an official role, and he'd be very involved in future projects. But they're not willing to give him full creative control at this time, and that's where things stand for now. They go on to say, if we had to guess, George Lucas will eventually make his way back to Star Wars, but in what capacity remains to be seen. With Kennedy very likely on her way out, though, and Marvel Studios' Kevin Feige also said to be interested in taking over the sci-fi property, you can expect some major changes for the brand over the next few years. Now, let's say that this out there article is true. Let's say that real quick. Let's say that. Let's say that they're really considering bringing George back on. I think what they might do is be like, okay, we're going to bring you on. You're going to have some creative control, yes. But it's going to be you, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni. You three. You guys have to agree on stuff before we do it. Has to be agreed, all three of you, and then we'll do it. It can't just be George's idea, we're going to go with it. No, it has to be something you guys have to come to agreement on, or you have to do together. That way, he doesn't have full creative control, because I don't think Iger would do that, because that might, I think that would make Iger look bad. Or Iger could come out and be like, hey, you know what? We made a mistake keeping Kathleen Kennedy as Lucasfilm president, and we're going to right the ship, bring George back. We're going to redo some stuff, maybe even erase the sequel trilogy out of canon, and then keep going. But they'll never do that anyway. But maybe even have George do something different, and maybe down the road from after Rise of Skywalker, and tell something different. Do some Old Republic stuff. Go back and do some. I know George had a lot of stuff he wanted to do, but he was just kind of wanting to move on from Star Wars and just give it to somebody else creatively, let somebody else take control of it. And I don't think he ever imagined that Disney would take what he did and just basically just turn your brain off action movies, or a movie that subverts your expectations so much that it just basically destroys so much lore and what he created. I mean, I can't even imagine being him and sitting there watching The Force Awakens and being like, wait a minute, this looks a lot like A New Hope. Why do we have another super weapon? But that's JJ. He just wants his stakes big and big and big and big. I mean, 10,000 or whatever freaking Star Destroyers with Death Star lasers on them in Episode 9. What the hell? That's fucking stupid. I literally, I remember reading the leaks and I'm like, what? Huh? I thought we needed hyper crystals and we needed a lot of power to generate this much. Yes, yeah. But, so that's a very big reach that they're doing here. But like I said, there have been other rumors that he might come back in some kind of official capacity. So it might be where this rumor came from. They might have a source that says they're hearing things. This source can maybe be hearing things that are related to that, or that they're hearing from a source from a source from a source from a source, and it continues to get clouded on its way down the trail. You never know. You never know. I don't know if that's how that shit works out there in Hollywood. I'm not sure. So I don't have sources. Probably never will. That's fine. But we'll see. This could be true. I would love it if it were true. Like I said, I don't think Bob Iger would give him full control. It would have to be a joint thing with either Kevin Feige or a Favreau, or Filoni and a Favreau. And I really don't know why in the beginning, when George appointed Kathleen Kennedy for Lucasfilm president, I remember saying to a friend of mine, I'm like, why didn't you put Dave Filoni in charge? I mean, we know Dave Filoni knows everything about Star Wars from George. He was basically his understudy for a long time. George had to prove everything for the Clone Wars, and he worked really closely with George on Clone Wars stuff and stories, and creating Ahsoka was Filoni's baby, but George had to approve it, and he liked where it was going to go. So I'm really surprised that Dave Filoni was not the choice to head Lucasfilm, but excuse me, sorry. Of course, that's a big thing for somebody like that doesn't have that kind of experience to take over. So I can understand, on the other hand, why he didn't. But I don't know. That's a really interesting story. Not sure what to think. There's my face again, right there, for y'all to see. So I'm not sure, and I'm really tired. So I hope this has been a decent stream. I'm sure you guys can tell I'm a little out of it because I'm like slurring some words here and there, and But I want to talk about this. I want to talk some Star Wars with you all. I really wanted to do this, and like I said, I really have got to get my Clone Wars trailer reaction out. I haven't even watched it yet. I haven't even done the reaction yet. I need to do that and film it and get it up for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night, maybe Tuesday at the latest. Got 2 or 3 big things to do tomorrow in real life. Unfortunately, that's been what's keeping me from doing a lot of the stuff on the channel. And things will change eventually. And Jason will be back in hopefully more of a larger capacity down the road too. Nate will be coming on some more with me here and there. I got a couple other people I'm talking to about coming on. So eventually we like to have more than just my face that you guys could see. But I hope when my face is on camera, you guys do enjoy what you see. So, but Star Wars. Yeah, let's talk about it. I'm like I said, watching Clone Wars right now. And like I said, I'm gonna say this right now. If you guys want to go back and watch if you're like, I've never seen Clone Wars, I'm gonna watch that. It's on Disney Plus. Man, sorry. I'm getting a cold or something. Make sure you Google Clone Wars chronological order. If I remember to, I'll post a link to the Reddit thread on my Twitter account. Somebody did a really good job of like reworking the order because the one that's on their website's pretty good, but there's a couple of things still out of place. I don't know why it's so out of place, but it bounces back and forth from like season 1 to season 2, season 1 to season 2 to 3, then back to season 1, then it goes to season 1 and 2, and then 2 to 3, and it kind of just there's some more episodes that are out of order. But I definitely recommend watching it. I'm in the middle of season 3 at the moment, trying to get caught up before Clone Wars comes out because I will be doing Clone Wars episode reviews live after I watch the episode, whether it be right after it comes out or later that evening, because The Mandalorian was coming out like 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 4 in the morning, and I was like, crap, I need to get these out, and I haven't done that yet, and me and Nate have talked about it. We are both going to rewatch The Mandalorian in the next week or two, and then we're going to do a live stream on a Sunday or Saturday or Sunday night, and we're going to talk about The Mandalorian in depth and do like a full review, or we'll split it up over episodes to do all the episodes, or we're not sure which one we're going to do yet, but we're going to do that. But I do want to do live reviews or premiere reviews for the Clone Wars. I really want to do that for you guys. Got another series of videos I'm working on right now that a friend of mine came up with the idea for, and I think it's genius. I hope people like it. I hope it's relevant. I hope it works well, and we'll see. That probably will be up beginning to middle of next week because I'm just started on it and hoping to get that done. And any more trailers come out this week, we'll be reacting to that. More news stories like this pop up, I'll probably turn on the camera and start talking about it. Like I said, real life has been in the way a little bit with things that are not in my control, and it's hard to get up here and do stuff sometimes, but we're doing as good as we can. Like I said, Jason will be back on the channel a little bit more down the road, and then Nate will be back a little bit more, and I'm working on some more people because maybe if I can get these guys to do some videos on their own as well to put on the channel, we can help out a little bit. But I'm going to try to get up here as much as I can and do some stuff for you guys. And I do appreciate your patience. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody subscribing. Last couple of weeks, we've had a really nice influx of subscribers. And when we hit that 200 mark, we do have a giveaway. So if you guys can share the channel around and the videos, we really appreciate it. Really helps us out quite a bit. And we really want to build this community. And for everybody who's liked and commented on the videos and messaged me in real life and on Facebook and Twitter and everything, you guys have been amazing. It's been fantastic to hear some feedback from people about how much you enjoy what I do and what we put out for you all. And we really appreciate it too. I mean, some of the stuff me and Jason have done in the past and some of the videos that we get views on, people will comment on, or people talk to us in real life, feel like we really like those videos. I mean, that really helps us and makes us feel good and makes us feel like that you guys really like what we do. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure people are liking what we're doing. And if you guys have a comment on a video or a suggestion for what you think we could do better or something you'd like to see us do, feel free. We have a Facebook page, Twitter. That's all in the description below. Everything's there. Give us a shout and let us know what you think. We appreciate that. So I've been live for about 55 minutes. Well, actually, I did 10 or 15 minutes before with that undercover boss before we got clipped on that stream, which was hilarious. I looked down. I'm like, wait a minute, we're not even recording anymore. I'm like, son of a bitch. Yeah, we got striked from NBC Universal, and it was against YouTube regulations, violated guidelines. I understand that, yeah, but I've reacted to stuff before and no issue. But that also wasn't live on camera. But yeah, it was pretty funny. I would say that's pretty funny. You guys check it out. The Kylo Ren undercover boss. Where are they now? Was on Saturday Night Live this past Saturday. Definitely check it out. But yeah, hope you guys had a good weekend. I know there's stuff going on out there, and but it's I had a very busy weekend, so I hope you guys had a good one too. I hope it was safe and hope you had fun. And I know it's start of the week, and that sucks sometimes, but hopefully you guys have a great week, and hopefully you come back and check out the channel this week. Hopefully you shared this channel around with everybody. We do appreciate it. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, of course. I'm Jeff. This is the Geek Blend, and we have more videos coming out this week. Like I said, Clone Wars trailer reaction. I got to get that out. I haven't even watched the trailer yet. I've been waiting to do it for the reaction. And either tomorrow night or Tuesday night, I'll be starting Jedi Fallen Order. Really, really looking forward to it. I've had multiple people push me on that one. Like, you got to play that one. It's relevant right now, and you're going to love it. So I'm excited for that because, I'll always love playing as a Jedi. It's always fun to do. So haven't played as a Jedi since I think, Battlefront, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Lieutenant Crunch, thanks for hanging out in the chat tonight. I appreciate it. Really do. Always appreciate you here enjoying my streams. It's been a very, very long weekend. I would probably stream for another half an hour or so, but I have a long day tomorrow, and I have to be up pretty decent time. So we're going to call it quits for tonight. This is what I call Vader's Castle, a Star Wars podcast. Credits try to do it every Sunday night. Either it's going to be live or it will be recorded and released on Sunday night. It was either last Sunday or the Sunday before where I didn't get it done or wasn't able to do it because of, like I said, stuff in real life that just I wasn't able to get to it. But we will be trying to get that done in the future every Sunday night, so look forward to that. The Geek Blend Brew Pub stuff. Me and Jason doing our beer reviews. I have one more to edit and put up on the channel this week, and then me and him will be filming some new ones hopefully in the next couple weeks, and we'll be changing the name from the Geek Blend Brew Pub to the Geek Blend Cantina, because I had a friend literally look at me and say, "Why aren't you calling it the Cantina? You're a fucking Star Wars fan, you idiot." I'm like, that's a good point. He's like, but call it something else, something Cantina, is that way, because there's a ton of Cantina stuff out there. I know there is, but I just think it would fit more for the channel. And I like to have more people on talking about wine and other things as well too. So, and maybe kind of do it in a Star Wars setting or something. I'm working on an idea for it, but we are still going to kind of do that stuff because we really enjoy talking about that. Like, we love beer. I don't like wine as much. I do like some spirits, but we're mostly beer drinkers. A lot of IPAs, like sours and some ales and things. We do like beer. So we do like talking about that. And it's fun to sit and talk about a beer and then kind of get into a discussion of beer and then like maybe even veer off into a Star Wars discussion. Maybe even do a combination of like a Cantina, a live, and talk about some Star Wars news. We looking at some different stuff. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys are watching the video, enjoyed it. And I will see you all next time. I hope you have a great week and be safe and have fun. And I'll see you next time. And as always, here on the Geek Blend, if you geek about it, we'll speak about it. And we'll see you next time, guys. You have a great one. Thank you.